Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, let me introduce myself first. My name is Septia Tri Nur Islami, name K2219078, and today I would like to share about my experience in using self-evaluation of my major strengths and weaknesses as a listener, and I also want to talk about what steps that we need to take to become a better listener. So without further ado, let's start from my self-evaluation as a listener. So after I finished fulfilling the worksheet of listening self-evaluation, my score is just 54, which means that it is below of 70. So the indicators of the scores below 70 is we need lots of training in listening. So my strength in listening based on the self-evaluation is I seldom deciding a speaker is wrong before hearing everything she or he has to say. So I usually listen to the speaker's explanation first before deciding that what they are saying is right or wrong. So it is better for us to listen first and then see clearly and try to filter whether the speaker convey is right or wrong. So after we know about my strength, let's move to my weaknesses. So my weaknesses is that I usually trying to recall everything a speaker says. So when I listen to the speakers in entire speech, this is actually makes me confused and tends to forget that what the speakers has said. So I think that it is better for us to take notes or just listen to the main points of the conversation or the speech that then recall everything a speaker says. So after I share about my experience in using self-evaluation as a listener, let's move to the 5 steps that we need to take to become a better listener. So the first steps is take listening seriously and stay focused. So the first steps for toward becoming a better listener, is to accord listening in the seriousness it deserves. So good listeners are not born that way. We need we have to work at listening, how to listen effectively, seriously, and keep focus on the speakers. So the second steps is be an active listener. So an active listener here will give their undivided attention to the speakers and try to not distract with interference and stay focused on speaker's message. So let's move to the third steps, which is try to resist distraction. So the distraction can be divided into two types, which is physical and mental distraction. So when distraction happened, we need to try to make a conscious effort to pull up our mind back to what speaker is saying, then force it to stay there. So the fourth step is don't diverted by appearance or delivery. So it is good to be noticed by the listener. It is all too easy to assume that because someone is good looking and has a polished delivery will be hypnotic for the listener. Nevertheless, we need to try to make sure that we always focus to the message rather than the appearance of the speakers. So the last steps is develop note-taking skills. So an outlining that briefly notes a speaker is main point and supporting evidence in rough outline form. So I think that's all of my explanation about self-evaluation as a listener and what steps that we need to take to become a better listener. So thank you for watching. I'm sorry if I have a mistakes. So wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.